Hey guys, in this video I wanted to show you how you can create a Witcher style percussion track with one single rhythm. Let's dive in. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm a huge fan of The Witcher, the game and the TV show, although the last season, a little disappointing. But anyway, listening to the score, which I also love, I started to hear this repeated rhythmic pattern, and I thought to myself, hey, you know what? It's amazing how incredibly simple some of the elements in this are, but how incredibly effective. Because I don't want you to think that by me saying it's simple, meaning it's easy and ineffective. Simple is good. It means that we can obviously take inspiration from it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how I've just got a few drum libraries loaded up, how you can create the vibe of this kind of like folk movie, folk TV show, dark folk, I should say, with just a single rhythm. And yeah, okay, there is an element of orchestration in it because you're not exactly going to be getting an 808 to play this rhythm and going, oh, this sounds like The Witcher. You're going to be giving this to an instrument, to appropriate sounding instruments. So in this case, I've chosen Taiko's, which probably isn't the most effective instrument to choose. In fact, I could probably choose my own if I can find it. Where is it? Choose my war drum. It's called. Have I saved it? Yay! War tambour. There it is. There we go. Need to sort that skin out. Let's title this. Now, before you guys dive in to this, I just want to highlight a couple of things. This is just a single rhythm combined with appropriate orchestration to give you this sense of time and place. Okay, and feel. The rhythm gives you the feel. The instrumentation gives you the time and the place, or at least alludes to it, because obviously the Witcher universe is not real. Although, some people might believe so. We want it to be 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. That's probably around 80, maybe. I'm terrible at guessing. Yeah, I'm terrible at guessing. Oh, I was closer. Maybe 90. Yeah, let's go 95. Actually, let's go 93. Good year. Smashing Pumpkins released a great album that year. So, Siamese Dream. Was it Siamese Dream? Yeah, Siamese Dream. Right, here we go. So, without further ado, let me reveal the rhythm to you. It's a caterpillar hamburger. So, if you didn't know, I used to teach music at school with kids, and to help them understand rhythms, I'd give them words. So, hamburger was an 8th note and 2 16th notes. So, hamburger. Burger, hamburger. It's great, love it. And then caterpillar is 4/16. Caterpillar. Okay, so it's hamburger, 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 caterpillar. And I still do this whenever I hear a rhythm. I'm like, oh, the old hamburger caterpillar. Or should I say the old caterpillar hamburger? Let's try this. So. Okay, admittedly I'm playing it as 8th notes, but, no one's going to criticize me, I hope. So here we go. Here's the rhythm. You see it. So actually, if we go into score, it's not really a hamburger. It's ant, spider, ant, spider, ant, spider, spider, spider. So spider is 2 8th notes and ant is a 1/4 note. Love this stuff. It gets me very excited. Let's get into this. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make sure all of these velocities are the same, because what I want to do is I want to make some emphasis on these first notes specifically. There we go. In fact, what we can do is go into the automation and just kind of give us a little bit of a volume swell up to the next note. And it's a little bit slow. It's going to go back to 100. There we go. Awesome. I'm chuffed with that. So I hope you can already hear like just that rhythm, ant spider, or hamburger. You're in this zone already. Because so often rhythm writing is overcomplicated. People think it needs to be some kind of like magic wizardry. It's not. It's understanding divisions and emphasis at its core. You know, I know I'm sure there's drummers out there getting very, very cross with me, but I do tend to make drummers cross. Don't know why. Maybe I say because I say things like that. Okay, right, here we go. Now, I'm going to give this to the low taiko, but what I'm going to do, it's gone to the sticks, isn't it? I'm going to, there we go, drop it down there. I don't want this to be hugely loud. Because you hear when you're doing rhythmic writing like this, it's good to spread out who's playing what. So not have them all playing at the same time, because what you want to do is you want to save that magical moment for a specific point. In this case, I'm going to save that for this. That last bit. Now you notice I've changed it. Okay, I've kept the same rhythm both iterations here, hamburger, caterpillar, or ant spider, spider. But what we have here is something slightly different. Okay, I've kept that last 16th, I've taken out the spiders basically, and then here I changed it the second time. When you're writing rhythmic parts, it's just often a case of looping and then at given moments creating a change, and that change is often at the end of a phrase or a bar or a group or a rhythm. And there we go. So there's the change there. It will make it feel like it's, instead of just a 2-bar rhythm, it's actually a 4-bar rhythm. Cool. Right, now let's go give this to the taiko ensemble, but these guys aren't going to play as much. Okay, they're not going to take that. They might take that, but I might just sort of limit these guys. So you can hear just having them playing at different intervals changes the emphasis. Okay, and I'm just going to change that. And now you hear that because every drum is playing there, it has more emphasis, and it catches your attention. Okay, so let's take this war tambour line and take this down into the percussions. Okay, right, now what I'm going to do with these guys, I'm going to give a couple little grace notes. They're tiny little notes that happen just before the note that you intend. So let me show you. I'll do it here. They're usually kind of very small intervals, rhythmic intervals. So they're not usually anything bigger than a 16th. So it could be like this. There we go. To make it sound like almost like a little cheeky little roll, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those there and there and there. Okay, so and one more there too. So it sounds like a tiny little roll into the note, tiny little fill. Okay, so it works there. I'm going to take this one out and this one out, and I'm going to move them. I don't think it quite worked enough that time. I think it was too soon. So let's hear it. There we go. Right, let's hear that again in context. Tiny detail, but makes a huge difference. Okay, and then what we can do is bear in mind what I said about having a change. So here's the first iteration, here's the second iteration. On the first iteration, This guy is not going to play that. Or this girl, I should say, you know, this person. Could be either. Just to emphasize that dun, dun. I think actually it really worked really quite nicely, so maybe what I'll do is maybe we'll try deleting that and see what that sounds like. Yeah, it's nice and subtle, which is what I want. Because I don't want to feel like everything's like dun, 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 dun. Not yet, anyway. Really like that roll. Cool. I mean, what you can now do is you can hear that I've taken this one rhythm and I've extended it to become something more interesting. But now what I've done is I've looped it. And to avoid the ears catching onto a loop, you have to do those changes that I talked about earlier on. So let's go into the war tambour. That's going to be doing the same thing, except for the very end, where maybe it doubles up in speed. It might sound a bit rubbish just because of the nature of the sample I've got. No, sounds alright. I like it. I'm going to end the rhythm there, 20 seconds in, just so that you guys can kind of hear that we've got an ending to it. Okay. Cool beans. Okay, and now we're going to do the same thing again, but this time with the Taiko ensemble. So they've got boom, 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 caterpillar, boom, 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 oh, worm, worm. Actually, it's earth. That's what I use. Earth for the long notes, for the whole notes. So what we're going to do is maybe we're going to add in an extra note here. An extra note, extra. Suddenly gone Kiwi. Okay, extra note there, and I'm going to double it. So there we go. We've got this extra note here changing, and we could even do what we did with the war drum. And there we go. Now it feels like an 8-bar rhythm rather than a 4-bar loop. Nice. Low Taiko, cheeky little chappy. We're going to change that, so that's going to be like that. And I'm actually going to introduce that idea there. There we go. Cool. And then same thing, and it's going to go dun da da dun da da. Nice. Paper Johns, little chappies. Let's see what happens if we give this roll a little bit more time. Nice. Just to kind of make it feel more like a, which is what we want. Now, the rhythmically, it looks okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a tiny little emphasis. Remember, it doesn't have to be a huge change. I'm going to add these extra ones in to build. And I'm going to add that in there. Nice. Now we can, of course, add in some bigger booms. I've left out the high taiko, because then what we can do is, this is when introducing a new drum has more emphasis. I've gone for the sticks, which I actually like. Cool. I'm going to leave it at that, because I want you to realize that when you're working with rhythms, it's so easy to overcomplicate it. And overthink it, when in actual fact what I've done is I've taken a rhythm, hamburger, 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 caterpillar, or ant, spider, ant, spider, ant, spider, 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 and I have passed it out to appropriate sounding drums, and I have divided up the parts to provide different emphasis. Now, a little trick here, you notice I gave the biggest sounding drum less to do, and the smaller sounding drums more to do, because physically that's how it would work, because the bigger drums won't play busy parts because you won't get as much clarity in the drum line, and it will get muddy very quickly. We keep it clean and crisp by spreading the parts out according to how big and small they are. The smaller drums can play much more intricate and faster lines because it doesn't get muddy. The lower drums, the bigger they get, the less intricate their parts become. But the more important it is where you place them. Okay? So that's my Witcher style percussion track. I do want to just do a couple of things first to kind of bring your attention to it. It doesn't necessarily need to be quiet. It can be loud. The emphasis is still there. That's the other thing, is I kept emphasis on certain notes so that we got subtle nuances between them. I mean, because of the nature of this rhythm, now that it's feeling bigger and more aggressive, I would want to have something chugging away underneath. Okay, but when it's all soft and subtle like this, you can get away with having a bit more space, and then you can sort of think about, this is a Hardanger fiddle by the Fingal. Just a bit of a fiddle in this rhythm. So we've got like immediately we've got this Witcher style percussion, this kind of like epic folk style percussion. I haven't chosen any specific sample libraries. This tambour that I created for my inventive instruments is literally just my tambour. I chose it on a very cold day, so the skin was really flappy, and just sampled myself hitting it with a timpani stick, and the rest is just Spitfire, Hans Zimmer, Taikos, and Percussions, which I love. I think that sample libraries collection is fantastic. Like I said, oh, hello. Don't want that. Well, that sounded good. Oh, now it's sounding a bit like an emotional folk story. I haven't used East-West instruments. These ones from Ra for ages. So my libraries are all disappeared somewhere. You could use any of these. So it could be, let's go for the live one. Replace. This type of thing, that's when you start to then take a couple of things to orchestrate it, to turn it into something else. Have a lot of fun with it. But we've done the percussive bed now, so a lot of the hard work is done. And this is how I approach my writing for trailer tracks as well, when it comes to percussion and scoring and pretty much any percussive writing. I approach like this: simple, single rhythm, and then spread out among the other instruments. I hope you can start to hear that, where not just in my tracks, but when you're watching shows like The Witcher, you can go, I can hear the hamburger caterpillar. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one, guys.